Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. Welcome to the River Road Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm Reverend Karen Rasmussen, your affiliate minister. Come on in and have a seat, everybody. Whoa. Cool. Hi, I'm Karen. If this is your first time here in person, we welcome you. We hope you will stop by our welcome table out there in the foyer so we can get to know you and help you to get connected. For those watching live on YouTube, please feel free to join the chat with our online host. If you're watching this at a later date and have questions, please visit our website because you're going to find all kinds of things on our website. Couple of short announcements. If you missed making a paper flower last week, we have the goodies right up here. If you'd like to make one and then we'll add it to the wall, feel free to come up anytime during the service and help yourself. And FYI, that next Sunday, which is June 22nd, we will be joining the live stream of the worship service from the General Assembly at 11 a.m., which also features Reverend Connie. I just want you to know. But note the later start time. We start at 11. But for congregants who would like to come a little earlier on that day for the watch party, from 9:30 to 10:30, there will be a sing-along celebrating the launch of the new virtual UU hymnal. Find out more about that at generalassemblyuua.org/GA. Details for all of our programs and upcoming events can be found on our website, which is at rruuc.org. that's fun. Our chalice lighting this morning is For the Summer Solstice by B. Leslie Kunz. We come together this morning as celebrants, as seekers, and as companions. We enter this, the long day, joyfully, allowing ourselves the beauty of this time together in which we may rest our cares and our sorrows and allow our hearts and our spirits to be uplifted. I invite you to take a deep breath. Drink in the beauty and the community here that surrounds you in this place. And as you release it, become centered here with us now in this sanctuary. Please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Wanted to see if you were paying attention to the lyrics. It's a little bit of a challenge. So, does anybody know what's coming up in the next week? What special day is coming? Summer solstice? The longest day of the year is coming. Okay, the gremlins are in the machine this morning. So this morning, for our Prophetic Voices video, we have a story by Wendy Pfeffer called The Longest Day, Celebrating Our Summer Solstice.
The Longest Day, Celebrating the Summer Solstice by Wendy Pfeffer, illustrated by Linda Bleck. As summer approaches in the northern part of the world, bison shed their heavy coats, mountain goats climb to sunny pastures, and with a splash of color, butterflies emerge from silky cocoons. At this time of year, the sun appears early each morning, rises higher into the sky each day, and lingers long into the evening. Days become longer and warmer, and crops grow and ripen. Around June 21st, the first day of summer, as Earth moves in its orbit, the northern half of the Earth tilts toward the sun, and so it gets more sunshine than the southern half. The first day of summer, called the summer solstice, has more daylight hours than any other day of the year, making it the longest day. The sun spreading warmth and light has always been important to people. Warm sunshine and more daylight hours make for good growing season to supply life-giving food. The sun was so valuable to people who lived in ancient times that some considered it one of their gods. Egyptians believed their sun god, Ra, sailed in a golden boat across the sky. The Greeks thought their sun god, Apollo, drove a chariot through the heavens, and the sun was one of the blazing wheels. Early people observed and recorded how the sun appeared to move through the sky. Ancient Greeks measured the shadows of a tall pillar. The shortest shadow occurred on the longest day in the summer, when the midday sun was high in the sky. The longest shadow appeared on the shortest day in winter, when the midday sun was low in the sky. The people of the Chumash tribe in California painted a sunburst around an opening in the ceiling of a cave. They called it the House of the Sun. During mid-afternoon on the longest day, the sun's rays streamed through the opening, and when the sunlight beamed onto a quartz crystal that was wedged into the ground, the Chumash welcomed summer solstice. 5,000 years ago in England, people began building structures to mark these special times of the year. One prehistoric monument, Stonehenge, consists of a circle of stones. Some line up with the summer solstice sunrise. Others line up with the winter solstice sunset. Similar yet puzzling stone structures cover Mystery Hill in New Hampshire. Some call it America's Stonehenge. While Stonehenge is neatly arranged, Mystery Hill is a jumble of stones, many etched with ancient inscriptions. Early on June 21st, visitors flocked to Mystery Hill. They watched the sun come up over Sunrise Stone, marking the beginning of the longest day. In Wyoming, during mid-June, thousands of people hike up Medicine Mountain to see Bighorn Medicine Wheel. Scientists and archaeologists believe the Plains Indians constructed this 80-foot wide circle of rocks between 200 and 800 years ago. 28 spokes radiate out from a central hub. One spoke points to the summer solstice sunrise and another to the summer solstice sunset. Over 700 years ago in Lithuania, villagers celebrated the longest day by washing their faces with morning dew, then singing, dancing, and feasting. They coated a wheel with tar, covered it with straw, and set it afire on top of a hill to symbolize the sun at the highest point in the sky. Then they rolled it down the hill towards a river to symbolize the sun moving through the sky. If the wheel was still burning as it hit the water, they believed the summer sun would produce a bountiful harvest. Today, Lithuanians and people in many other countries celebrate St. John's Day on June 24th with festivities from sunup to sundown. The days around the summer solstice have been called midsummer because June 21st is about midway between May and August. On Midsummer's Eve, ancient Germanic tribes built fires. They thought the fire would help the sun warm the earth and drive away unwanted spirits. They believed the bigger the fire, the farther away those spirits would move. And couples used to jump over the fires, hoping that the summer crops would grow as high as they could jump. On land that lies above the Arctic Circle, the sun shines for 24 hours on June 21st. In Sweden, it's called the day that never ends. Towns will often set up a midsummer pole, strewn with streamers and flowers, flags and greens. Villagers wear folk costumes and play traditional music and dance around the pole. Each year, the people of Nome, Alaska celebrate the summer solstice with a midnight sun festival. On June 21st, the sun shines for more than 22 hours. People parade, barbecue, and dance in the streets. And if the ice is broken up on the Bering Sea, the annual polar bear swim is held. Brave people dip their entire bodies in the almost freezing water to celebrate the longest day. During the hot weather, the days shorten and summer soon ends. Leaves fall, cool winds blow. Bison start growing heavier coats. Mountain goats wander down to the windless pastures, and monarch butterflies migrate south to the warm skies of Mexico. The Earth continues its orbit around the sun until the next year, when people in the northern part of the Earth will once again enjoy the summer solstice and the longest day of the year.
Look at all that sunshine out there for the longest day. Okay, so it feels really dark in here. Middle and youth group, middle school and youth group, Suzanne is waiting to meet you in the lobby. Younger kids in elementary, go to your classrooms, and I'm going to tell you guys something. Come back for the end of the service because Danny has created a special dance party for us. So come back up for dance party. Have a good time. I don't know if you're still going out in the garden today, but have a good time. I see the thumbs up. See ya. Okay. Joys and sorrows this morning. You know, when we plan worship services, we look at what's going on in the world, what's going on in the congregation, what's going on in people's lives, and settle on a couple of things that we want to lift up. And there have been so many things, so many things to lift up this week, this month. And I don't want to give any of them short shrift because they are all important. That we are continuing to celebrate and honor Pride Month. And I hope we all remember that it's not just for June. Every day is Pride. We are celebrating No King's Day yesterday. I know that many of you, well, I know that many of you attended events. Some of you may have attended the parade, I'm not sure. But we mark that day as well. Next week is Juneteenth, the day when the announcement of emancipation reached the last of the enslaved folks. We've had weddings in the past week. I don't think Rose is here, but Rose got married. We have had grandchildren born. We have had families visiting. We have had so many joys that we've held in our lives. And we've had hard times too this month. We've lost loved ones. We've lost parents and friends and those that we hold dear to us. All of these things I name because they are part of the circle of life and death, of birth and rebirth, of renewal that is our lives, like the cycle of the sun around the earth. Short days and long days. So today, I'd like for us to just take a moment. You can call out the names of anything that's on your heart. What are you holding in this circle of life and death, birth and renewal? What's on your heart this morning? Let's sing together, "There is more love somewhere," slowly.
Each month, we share our treasures with an organization that promotes the values of love and justice and inclusion. This month, our Extend the Offering beneficiary is MCPAW. Please welcome Vicki Thomas to share information about this important organization. And I think there's little furry friends here, too.
Hi, my name is Vicki Thomas, and I'm co-chair of the RRUC Animal Ministry and vice chair of MCPAW. MCPAW is a nonprofit, all-volunteer animal welfare organization dedicated to helping pets, both owned and unowned, and the people who love them. Our goal is to help keep pets out of the county shelter and off the streets by providing needed resources. As we all know, the bond between people and their pets is very special. Pets provide companionship and unconditional love. There are numerous physical and emotional benefits to pet ownership. So not only is saving a pet's life a worthy goal in itself, but it is also very important to the people who love them. MCPAW believes that no one should have to surrender or abandon a pet due to cost, because pets mean as much to those who have less as they do to us. Therefore, our main programs are aimed at helping underserved communities keep their pets at home through a bi-monthly pet food distribution alongside a human food distribution, helping with low-cost spay-neuter surgeries, helping residents with life-saving emergency surgeries and other vet care, and helping residents with behavioral advice. I want to read a short note from a 17-year-old girl whose dog Mia we helped save a few months ago. My name is Vi. Mia is a sweet, loving 5-year-old dog who recently faced a life-threatening emergency called pyometra. For those who may not know, pyometra is a severe uterine infection that can be fatal without urgent surgery. When I found out Mia needed surgery, my heart broke. Coming from a low-income household at just 17 years old, I wanted to do everything to save her, but the cost of the procedure was far beyond what I could afford. Mia means the world to me. She has been my comfort through tough times and a wonderful source of joy. I can't imagine life without her. Thankfully, an amazing organization called MCPAW stepped in to help, making it possible for Mia to get the life-saving surgery she desperately needed. I am forever grateful for their support and the kindness of everyone who has helped us along the way. So MCPAW also has a foster and adoption program for cats and kittens who are abandoned outside. We will have some of those cats and kittens in the lounge if anyone is looking for a great Father's Day present. And this is little Tara, who was found wandering around a Target parking lot. She's about 5 weeks old, super sweet. We also have our behaviorist, Genevieve, during coffee hour if anyone has any problems with their own animals. So again, thank you for your generous support of the residents of Montgomery County, both human and furry. And this is Jordan.
Thank you, Vicki. To learn more about why we give of our financial treasure, you can check out our website at rruc.org. There you can find information about our vibrant programs and all the ways to connect with the mission and the vision of our community. You can also give right there on the main page by clicking the blue Give Online button. You can also text to give. The text to give number is 73256. Again, that's 73256. Type RRUC in the amount that you'd like to give. Thank you all for sharing your time and your talent and your treasure. Our reading this morning is Change by Donna Fawkes. Change proclaims its dominance. Just try and stay the same, it taunts. See how long that status quo will last before blasted by the newness. Change isn't always flashy like the Grand Canyon. Sometimes it's subtle, like the blinking of an eyelash or the floating of a feather on the wind. Say yes, and change will take you someplace unexpected. Say no, and you'll end up in the same place, resisting all the while. I'd rather go willingly and see if the journey itself just might be worth the ride. Please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us.
Have a seat. I invite you to close your eyes for a moment. Get grounded in your seats. Think back in time. It's Sunday in June 2024. It's the second Sunday of the month. I don't know what the date is. It's around 10:34 a.m. on that Sunday. What was going on? Think of your own life and your personal situation. Were you feeling good? Were you healthy? Were you not feeling too good? Was your partner with you? Did you not have a partner? Were you here in this sanctuary, in this space, worshiping? Was the person who's sitting next to you this morning also sitting next to you a year ago? What were you thinking? Think about River Road. Was it the same? Was everything in the same place? Were the same people here? Were we doing the same thing? Think about this country. Where were we on June 15th, 2024? That debate hadn't happened yet. We were thinking about the presidential election. We thought we knew who our candidates would be. Think about the world. What was going on? Was anybody even mentioning tariffs? Were we thinking about conflicts between Israel and Iran? What was the world like? And what was your response to it? Bring it back to yourselves now. How were you feeling about the world, the country, this congregation, and your place in it? What were you thinking of a year ago today? And when you're ready, open your eyes. A lot of things have changed since then, haven't they? A lot is different. Maybe you're taller, shorter, slimmer, heavier, more gray, less gray. There are bottles that do that. Maybe your body is feeling stronger, maybe you're feeling weaker. Maybe you are more committed and determined in your mind, more focused than you've ever been. Maybe you're more sure of what the questions are and what the answers are than you've ever been. Or maybe you're not. Maybe you're wondering, feeling, there's no other word for that, but just ready to throw your hands up, thinking, what is going on? Whatever it is, I bet it's not exactly the same as it was a year ago. It can't be the same as it was a year ago. A year ago, you had 2 ministers standing up here. Now you have 1. A year ago, you had different hair, different blood, different skin cells than you do right now. You are not the same. So how on earth could things be the same? And here we are in June, that month of transitions, that month of finishing school and going to the next grade, of maybe graduating from high school and going to college, leaving home for the first time, or graduating from college and going out into the world for the first time, or going to work for the first time, or moving into a new apartment, or getting married, or getting divorced, being separated, being widowed. It's a month when we're all going through so many changes. And you've been going through some changes here. I know that. Lots of things have changed here, and in many ways it stayed the same. And over this year, some of you have been wondering, like, what is she doing? She's just changing everything. For some of you, it's been exciting and exhilarating. And for others, it's produced anxiety, confusion, maybe even a little anger, maybe some disappointment, and some fear. And I know that. I know that. I hope, though, that you also know that none of the change that we have undertaken, none of the questions we've been asking have been asked without purpose, without intention. What we came here to do this year is to look around, to open our eyes, to be open-hearted and open-minded to the community and the world that faces us today, and to ask, Is this what we want? Is this what we need? Is this what we should be doing? Is this in line with our mission? Is it sustainable? And if it's not, what do we do to change it? And will the change be worth it? Is the journey of change worth the ride? Now, I wrote a whole sermon this morning. It's got lots of pages. And I'm not going to deliver it, because it doesn't feel like what we need in this moment. Instead, I wanted to take you on that journey of meditation for a moment. I wanted you to think about some things. And then I'm going to read something to you. And then I'm going to tell you a few things. How's that sound? I'm going to read to you from Courageous Questioners by Reverend Carmen Emerson. Not all of it, just a portion of it. Effective questions about tension in our religion and in our congregations are really prelude to the deepest of deep questions pulsing through the heart and mind of each one of us who longs to be at home in Unitarian Universalism. May I safely belong here with these people, practicing this living faith tradition in this beloved community known by many names: church, congregation, fellowship, society. And going deeper still, if it changes, as it changes, will I still belong safely? I know a lot of you have been asking those questions. We've seen them in the surveys that we've done. Going further, this is the question most revealing of our common vulnerability. And the answer to this ultimate question will be up to each one of us who chooses to cast our lot with Unitarian Universalism and this particular community. No, I will only safely belong if nothing changes. Represents the kind of fundamentalism that compelled many of us to leave other religious traditions in search of Unitarian Universalism. I wonder how many of you have said, no, I will only safely belong if nothing changes. Remember how inspired, encouraged, and hopeful you felt to discover Unitarian Universalism, a religion of integrity, she writes. The only things we were asked to check at the doors were any remnants of closed-mindedness or small-heartedness. It's understandable that the discomforts of transition can tempt us to try to retrieve those protective layers, especially when we feel that what we discovered and have come to love, cherish, and rely upon so dearly is under threat by way of change. But here's the question, she asks. Do we trust each other enough to be as open-minded and wholehearted as we needed others to be when we first discovered Unitarian Universalism and came to understand what it could mean in our lives? There is a faithful way to answer all of these questions. And there is a fearful way to answer all of these questions. The fearful way is rooted in the absolutes of all and only. But to believe that Unitarian Universalism can be all things to all people is to delude us to irrelevance. And to believe that Unitarian Universalism can only be certain things for everyone is to condemn us to an unsustainable brittleness. I think I choose the faithful way to answer these questions. And she says, that's rooted in the possibilities that emerge when curious, thoughtful, generous, engaged, and vulnerable people commit to covenantal relationships that enable them to risk turning toward, rather than away from, the tensions and growing pains inevitable to a living faith tradition. This kind of answer replies, may we be such faithful people. May we be such courageous questioners, risking asking these questions. May we trust each other in our individual and collective evolution as a living faith tradition, remembering all we have been, acknowledging all we are now, and imagining all that we may yet become. Can we do that? Can we be that open-hearted and open-minded to undertake this journey? And will it be worth the ride? I truly think it will. I truly do. So that's the thing that I wanted to tell you, and I wanted to share with you and read to you. Now, here's the thing I want to tell you. And I touched on this in the annual meeting. Over this last year, we've been asking you lots of questions with Post-it notes and forms on Google and small groups and one-on-ones. And all of that is put together with thanks to Lisa Rubenstein and Barb Geiser and Marsha Leonard. The information that we collected in March has been summarized. It's 93 pages long. That's how much you had to share. And as we've done with all of the other surveys and all of the other questions, your responses are entered verbatim. So if there are typos or words that don't make sense, that's on you. We copied and pasted directly from your emails and forms into this document. This week, Natalie is going to send an email that has the results of all the surveys we've done. So there are 4 in total. Our first one, which was just telling the story. Our second one of what do you want to let go, amplify, restart, and end. Our third one on social justice, and this one on March Madness. That's 4 of them. Altogether, I think there's about 200 pages of your responses. It's up to you whether you choose to read it all. I hope you will, because the comments are very interesting and so different. So what are we going to do with this? We've got a list of projects and things that we are doing next year. You heard me talk about the budget at the annual meeting, and the things that we are planning that are based on all of your responses. So you're going to see the week after General Assembly a second email, special blast email. Right? The first survey is a special blast. The second one is a special blast as well. That is going to say, these are all the opportunities we have for people to step in or to take part in projects that we're doing. If there's something you want to do, sign up. Put your name down. So I've already heard that there's someone who wants to do a special food drive for students in August. And the question came up, why do we just do a backpack blessing? Why don't we send them with food too? Okay, if you're willing to organize that, fine. So things like that will be on this sheet. If there's something that you're interested in doing, someone wanted to plan community barbecues or potlucks or something, sign up for it. In August, the staff and I will go through all the things, because clearly we can't do everything. We'll go through all of the things, be in touch with folks about what they said they wanted to do, and we'll get cracking. Does that sound like a plan? Okay. Okay, so that's the thing I wanted to tell you. Now, we're going to sing again, and then we're going to do our little closing blessing, and we'll hear the postlude. If you haven't figured it out already, Cliff and Schwei have been playing a Mozart sonata this morning. You've heard the first two movements. You're going to hear the third as the postlude. And I don't know how, but I've been watching Schwei's feet. Like, if I'm playing four hands with somebody, my foot is still doing an imaginary pedal. And I only saw it twice from you. And I don't know how you're doing that, but it's amazing. So, third leg, that's what it is? Okay, got it. That's kind of creepy, Cliff, but okay. That's a little creepy. So, that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to have a dance party. So stick around after the postlude for a dance party. All right? For right now, we're going to sing hymn number 1028, The Fire of Commitment. Please rise in body or spirit. It helps you to have more wind if you're standing when we sing this song. rodeo warm-up for dance party.
Our Unitarian Universalist principles and values call us to live our values out loud, not alone, and encourages us to be open-minded, open-hearted spiritual communities, helping people to lead lives of justice and love and learning and of hope. Here are some ways that you can live your values in the coming weeks. End the year strong by fulfilling your 2024 to 25 fiscal year pledge by the end of this month. Your faithful stewardship is always appreciated and allows our liberal tradition to be relevant and thrive in a time when so many forces are rising up against us. And don't forget to fill out a pledge form for the upcoming fiscal year as well. Check on the green Make a Pledge button on the right top of the website. This summer, start thinking about how you can volunteer to help the River Road community. In the coming weeks, we will send out a list of volunteer opportunities that you can take advantage of. Or contact the office if you have an idea to put your skills and your interests to work. We close our time of worship together by extinguishing our chalice and reciting out loud these words by Elizabeth Sella Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
They didn't even let me do the benediction closing words in there. But that's okay. That was amazing. Thank you. So our closing words for today are, let's have a party. Let's celebrate everything that we have done this year and the exciting year to come. Danny, hit it. Whoa!